guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over a story titled, Wife Had an Affair and I'm Having Trouble Forgiving. And guys, this story is about a guy, he's 28 years old, wife's 27, he's been with her for a few years now and they have a kid together. And unfortunately, he started to discover very suspicious behavior. And eventually, without a shadow of a doubt, she's cheating with, of all people, her boss. Talk about a cliche. Anyhow, unfortunately, unlike the guys that handle these situations like a boss, he does not. He handles this instead of like a boss, like a bitch. And ultimately, guys, this is going to be a whole roller coaster of crap she puts him through. Now, I know a lot of you guys don't like hearing these stories when these guys act like complete SIMPs. However, I think it's very important I cover the stories not only about the guys that handle this situations like a boss and come out on top and all that, but also the ones about the guys screwing up. And that way, I can show you exactly and point out where they're going wrong. So for you guys that are, trying to become better versions of yourself, are nice guys and have been pushovers your whole lives, and now you're trying to man up essentially and stop acting like the blue pill nice guys that you were raised to be, it's important to hear these stories to see where the guy's going wrong and hear my commentary on that, and that way you don't make the same mistake. Because I got to tell you, I'm sure you guys notice a pattern in these stories. Whenever a guy acts weak, whenever his wife or girlfriend disrespects him and he doesn't check her, he doesn't lay down the law, he doesn't stand up for himself when he should, whenever he sacrifices all his personal happiness to make her happy, which never makes her happy, there's just more and more disrespect and BS. And usually there's cheating and affairs involved. On the other hand, when the guy checks his girl, doesn't make her the center of his universe. I mean, he's good to her because she's his girl and she's good to him and all that, but he doesn't make her the end-all be-all of his existence. He checks her whenever she's disrespectful or maybe throwing a fit or a tantrum, and certainly if she cheats on him, he kicks her ass to the curb. It's amazing how they treat that guy, right? Because usually they come crying back, begging, willing to do anything to get in the guy's good graces, or if it's something minor like being disrespectful, and he checks her, immediately she's back on her best behavior. Night and day difference. Women don't respect weakness. And I can't stress that. And if a guy acts weak and he's a pushover and just she can have her way with him, there's more and more bullshit. Important things to learn from both the success stories and the guys acting like weak little, well, you know what. And you're going to see in the story, guys, she's going to have all the red flags. All the red flags with her phone, the guarding of her phone, suspicious activity, all that. And yet the guy just turns a blind eye, or he brings it up but then doesn't pursue it. And then, of course, gaslighting and all that. So hopefully this guy posting this online will get good responses from people on Reddit, as well as if he sees this video on here to help him get his life together. It's very important to do both. So, starts off, he says here, I am 28, my wife is 27. She had an affair with her boss, and I can't seem to get over it. Let me back up. When I was 24 years old, I decided to pursue my lifelong dream career, and she supported me. I finished school and started working, and we had a child. I was working late and loved my new job. She started becoming distant after the baby was born. About a year ago, I noticed she was hiding her phone. Anytime she'd get a text or notification, she'd lock it. Anytime we go to work, function of hers, I noticed she was abnormally nice to her boss. We'll call him Rob. Rob owns the business, but he lives an hour and a half from the office. But they're close in age, so I didn't really read into it very much. You always have to read into it. Always. Nowadays, especially, a guy has to have his eyes wide open to look for all little infractions or red flags. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And by the way, she's getting texts all the time and guarding her phone. That is one of the most classic signs something's up. Every time. But then her female manager started a Snapchat group chat with the three of them. Very seldom she showed me memes that they were sending back and forth. One day I asked her to see her phone after we went out with the kiddo so I could send myself some pictures. She told me no. I asked her why, and she said, I don't like people looking through my phone. I told her we've been together for 10 years and it's never been an issue, but I brushed it off. Smack! She will let you see her phone just so you can see a few pictures that were taken with you in it and all that, and she's hiding it and won't let you do it. I don't like people seeing my phone. Giant red flag. You don't let that slide. Right there. But I brushed it off. Come on, dude. Open up your eyes. The next night, she sent me a nude on Snapchat while she was in the bathtub. I went in right after and asked to send myself the photos again. She handed me her phone, and I swiped up to her recents and clicked on Snap, and she sent me the photo, but Rob was not in her chats at all. Keep in mind, they were all snapping every day. I asked her about it and got gaslighted. Of course she did. And notice that she wiped out all conversations and contacts with her boss and all that because obviously there was something to hide. And he brought it up, and she snapped at him and gave him a hard time. And of course, like a typical pushover guy, he took it. Can't ever do that. Remember, women will do bullshit sometimes just to test a guy to see if he has any balls. You all know, for you guys that have been around the block, you know what I'm talking about. And if a guy doesn't call her out on it or puts up with her crap, boom. It's going to get worse. More tests, more drama, more BS. And they get worse. At the end of the day, they want you to lay down the law. They want you to be a freaking man. They want you to lead. And they're like the little kids. Little kids will test the barriers. You parents out there know how little kids will test. And if you just allow it, it'll get worse. Flash forward to March of this year, and she tells me she's going to Metropolis for a convention. Metropolis? Was she going to have see Clark Kent and Lois Lane at the convention? I think he's obviously foreign, and so he meant to say the city, but fine. Metropolis it is. I ask her if I can go, and she tells me no. I wouldn't ask. I just say, hey, I'll go along. I'll see the city. Maybe I'll see Superman. A couple weeks later, I asked again, and she told me no, so I dropped it. There's a reason there. The first day she goes to class, and after said that they were going out for drinks. I told her to have fun and stay in touch. She sent me a Snapchat or two, but after about 7 p.m., I quit hearing from her. The kiddo goes to bed at 8 o'clock, so I text and ask if she wants to FaceTime with no response. I started getting concerned. Around 9 p.m., our mutual friend sent me a Snapchat and asked what we were doing in Metropolis. I told him only the wife went and asked if he'd heard from her. He said she just sent him a picture of her on Truly. Why is she sending the pictures to his friend? Not talking to him. Now, I will say this. From what I'm already gathering here, this guy does seem a bit needy. Like, he has to keep constantly talking to her. And I don't think it's just that he's checking up on her. I think he actually wants attention. And there's one thing to, you're talking to your girlfriend or wife, whatever, but this, I can sense the neediness here, and that's a problem. That is a weakness. Goes on, he says, she hadn't sent it to me. I sent her a snap, and she opened it right after. I tried calling again, and she didn't answer. I started scrolling on Instagram and see that she's been added a boomerang with Rob in the background at the bar. I immediately got pissed and found her iPad, which she had connected to her Facebook. He goes, invasion of privacy, I know. I found a message between her, the manager, and Rob. That's a meme. And it says something along the lines of, women don't want candy for Valentine's Day, they want boob jobs. And Rob saying, will you be my Valentine? So I kept digging and find more S-word innuendos between the two of them. The next morning, I called and asked why she hadn't called me. She told me she basically got blackout drunk and didn't fill her phone in her pocket. I logged into her Verizon account and see that the previous day, she talked with him for a total of 147 minutes. He was her last call of the night and the first call of the morning. Dude, shit's going on. And so you can either act like an idiot and be blind about this or do something. I get it's complicated. He's married. They have a kid. But she's playing you for a freaking fool. I still say this guy seems a bit needy. But putting that aside, still, what she is doing ain't cool. She ain't happy in the marriage. They're still young. They're still late 20s, for God's sakes. But right there, look at this disrespect. And when he brings things up, she gaslights him. Because she knows she can get away with it. She knows he's weak. And let me tell you guys, and I'm sure you're aware of this, a lot of women will marry guys that they are weak. They don't respect for resources. It's like I tell these guys that they get to the mid to late 20s, they start their careers, they're starting to have money coming in. I tell them to be careful because nothing's changed about you in terms of your looks, your appearance, or your personality, but you just have some money now, and all of a sudden girls starting to pay attention to you. Be careful because the odds are if nothing else has changed about you, they're looking for a ring. And they will marry a guy they don't respect, aren't really attracted to, for the resources. And the second they got that ring, and now it's legal, then they go get their kicks from other dudes. It's unfortunate, but it happens all the freaking time. He goes on, I called her back and confronted her with everything. She again gaslights me and tells me I'm being psycho. See? She knows. She knows she can just browbeat him until he finally caves. I asked her to give me the login to her Snapchat, and she tells me no. This continued until she got home. I asked her what I would find if I were to log in. She breaks down and tells me that he compliments her, and she has vented about me to him. She's bitching to her boss about her husband, family business, saying that I'm an a-hole, etc. She swears that's it. I told her I'm upset that she's confiding in another man, but I want our marriage to work. Anytime I bring it up, she tells me she doesn't want to talk about it, wants to get over it, etc. This goes on until July. Smack! This goes on until July, meaning she just wore him down, and he'd take it. Does she sound, her actions and her words, the way he's described, sound like she respects him very much, that she loves him? Hell no. On my birthday, she didn't get me anything. I really don't care, but she could have written a card for my kid or anything. She was acting off, and her sister called. She went outside to talk, which she never did when talking to her. The night before, she had put her purse in the office, which she never does. I looked at her purse and found an Android phone in the side pocket. I turned it on and found a couple text messages, one of which said, I'm going to tell him that was all. I'll talk to you later. I love you. Rob, her boss, replied with, I hope everything goes smooth. I can't wait to talk to you. I love you too. If this guy didn't have all the proof he needed before, there you go, right then and there. They're having an affair, the I love yous and all that shit, and her secret phone. See, obviously, some people would have issue with him going through her shit, but you know, he has a right. He knows stuff's going on. Proof right there. I was so infuriated that I couldn't see straight. I went outside and asked her to come in. Asked her, I wouldn't ask her, I'd say, get your ass in here right now. She asked why. I said, just come in, and walked away. She walked in, I told her to call her sister back. I asked her why she had a trap phone in her purse. She immediately said, and he wrote this in giant letters, why are you going through my shit? And stormed off like she was leaving. I asked her to explain herself. Again with this asking bullshit. Smack. No, you tell her. You're going to explain yourself right now. Not ask. Please, please, please explain yourself. She basically told me to get fucked. The disrespect gets worse and worse. I asked if they had you know what, and she told me they hadn't. Bullshit. I bluffed. I told her I had their location history, and she told me they had got a hotel room, but just hung out. She said she stayed there for 3 hours. Yeah. Who in their right mind is going to believe that? But in her mind, this guy has believed so much of my BS and put up with so much of my gaslighting and all that. I could say anything, and he'll just go along with it. This is what she thinks of this guy. Gentlemen, if you're still watching, because I know a lot of you probably have given up at this point, don't be this guy. This is exactly why I do this. The weakness. And this guy probably is a decent guy and doing his best, but he just doesn't know any better. This is why I do these stories and do this channel, to help guys become better versions of themselves, have some self-respect. They're not treated this way. Because nobody should. No man or woman should be treated this way by their so-called loved ones. The conversation went on for weeks. Smack. Why are you not kicking her to the curb? Or at least, why are you at the very least not packing up your suitcase and getting out of there and ending it? What do you mean this conversation goes on for weeks? This is the second time there's a fight and it goes on forever because he is that worn down. A lot of guys get to the point they're so worn down they just don't have any strength left to do anything. Can't get that way. She told me that she wasn't going to go into specifics, but she loved me and hated that it took something so dumb to realize it. She does not love this guy. Nothing in her actions show that she loves him. She still stays adamant that she never did anything physical, but I don't really believe her. Even if she didn't, which nobody here is going to believe that she didn't, even if she didn't, it doesn't matter. All what she's been doing and hiding and the disrespect doesn't freaking matter. End it. They're miserable. We started going to marriage counseling. Yeah, I'm sure that worked out really well. And she chalks up to feeling like my new career was more important to me than her. She still won't talk about any specifics and refuses to stop working for Rob. If this guy was going to stay with her, which he shouldn't, he should have said, number one, you're no longer, that's it. I saw your stuff, the I love yous and all that crap in the phone, amongst many other things. You're going to stop working there, or otherwise we're done. You're going to stop working there, new career, you're not talking to that guy. He shouldn't do this. Okay, he needs to end it with her at this point. It's gotten that bad. But if he wanted to stay with her, which would have been stupid, that should have been absolutely had to happen. But she won't talk about it. She knows that the relationship, the marriage, is more important to him than her. Now, anytime she goes to a work event, I don't feel like I can trust her. Every time I pass the city where they get a hotel, all the feelings come back up. My wife shuts down if I bring it up. She stormed out of therapy the last time I brought it up. Brought up Rob and said that she thought we were trying to love past it. You gotta be kidding me. Isn't the therapy supposed to open up and talk about things, not storm out? She's storming out because she doesn't have any answers, and she knows that shrink's going to see right through it. And by the way, notice how she blamed him, his new job, on him being distant and all that stuff? Bull crap. It says here, I don't know what to do. I love her and our family, but I can't get over it, and it's making me depressed. She keeps telling me I seem off, but I can't talk about it with her, and don't have any close friends I feel comfortable talking about. So here I am. So that is it for his story here. And I'm going to be looking for updates. This guy, bro, I don't think he's ever going to see this, but I'll pretend like he is. Bro, you need to end it with her. She doesn't love you. She doesn't respect you. And it's just getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, literally, what's it going to take that he walks in on her boss plowing her in their own bed, and I can see her then trying to gaslight him in some way. Okay, but some guys have to literally have to be that bad in their face for them to wake up and realize. The best thing you can do is end it with her and move on. End the story. Talk to a lawyer, find out all your options and all that. And even if she gets the house, and unfortunately gets partial custody of the kid, and you're paying her alimony and all that, even then, at least you can get your man card back. You can start over. But then work on yourself and find out where you went wrong and why you're so much of a nice guy and a pushover and try so hard and let things slide. Guy needs to work on himself big time. But you can't stay in something like this, because if he stays in a marriage like this, it's only going to get worse and worse and worse. Eventually, she will leave. I think she's just setting the stage to eventually leave him anyway to go off with Rob. But at least if he does it, he can be the one initiating it. Because I guarantee if she ends it with him, he's going to be just a broken down mess. That's what I can see coming out of this. So guys, you cannot be this way. Don't be this guy. And I know most of you know this, but still. But this is exactly why I do the success stories, and the guys handle things like a boss, and the guys that handle things the exact opposite. Now, some comments here, because they're important. One guy says here, if the wayward wife is not 100% invested in reconciliation, coming in contact with her boss and affair partner is a big one, it will not work. She is in the affair fog, or possibly still having the affair outright. Divorce proceedings may be required to get her to realize the gravity of her choices. They can be stopped if you both want to reconcile. She doesn't want to reconcile. She just wants to have what she had. I think she's biding her time. This guy has resources, and he can watch the kid while she goes out and does things and work on her career and have fun with her boss. Like I said in the beginning, married her nice guy, got that ring on her finger, got that insurance policy, and now she can go play until she can find somebody better. Another guy says here, what she's doing is trying to get you to rug sweep. Surprise her with divorce papers and call her bluff. Either she tells you everything now or she gets thrown out of the house and you're done. Because, dude, she is seriously manipulating and gaslighting you, and you're allowing it to happen. Stop it in the tracks and tell her either you tell me everything now because you already have all the evidence that you know what they did in that hotel. Quite honestly, you don't need a verbal confirmation of that. You know what they did, and by her actions and telling him that's what we did. This guy jammed everything together. That's all the confirmation you need. You know they messed around the hotel. Yeah, but no reconciliation. Just end it. It's over. Another guy says, send your evidence to his HR department. There you go. She will do everything to protect Rob because she loves and wants him. She is using you as a place to stay until he's ready. You are not in R because she doesn't want it. You are in R because of yourself. Get her boss fired like he deserves, and she will beg for forgiveness after running after him for a couple weeks, and then she will tell you everything if you threaten divorce. You are married. There is no invasion of privacy. You are in a partnership. If she hides things from you, take it more seriously and stop rug sweeping. Yeah, this whole time, sweep it under the rug. these arguments, as he said, goes on for weeks. It's ridiculous. Yeah, get this motherfucker fired. You got the proof right there. And the guy also said, P.S. The reason I say you are alone in reconciliation is because you are the victim. If the perpetrator doesn't apologize or attempt to fix what they broke, then they never will. She never will. Transparency, honesty, outing the affair partner, and a fair timeline, actual remorse, and not being a cunt about it. How can you drop it? It's not the same, OP. If she has done all of this, then divorce, and out them to everyone. There you go. Sometimes these comments, things are written badly and it's hard for me to read. But anyhow, you get the point. I think he should out that guy to the employer there and many other things there and see how that goes. But it's over. No reconciliation here. Because there's also, I forgot to mention this, guys. Generally speaking, when women form an opinion of you, and I'm sure many of you guys have learned this, you relationship guys, when you messed up when you were younger. When they form an opinion of you, they have a certain perception of you, it is darn near impossible to get them to change that. This is why guys that will behave, they'll suddenly get their shit together and start acting like the man they were born to be and laying down the law and everything. A lot of times these gals don't take them seriously. Or they do for a little bit, but then they keep pulling the same crap. Keep testing to see if he's the same strong guy, the new strong version of himself. But a lot of times if a guy acts weak so long, there is just no way they're ever going to see in that way and treat you with that respect. Eventually you just have to cut your losses and move on. Talk to a lawyer, find out all your options, good, bad, or ugly, and move on. And hopefully this guy won't get raked over the coals. But even if he does, he's a man. He can be strong and start over. Even if he gets hit hard, it can happen. A lot of guys have started over much worse. Even if it means you're living on your spare bedroom at your parents' house or your buddy's couch, or you get a small studio apartment or something like that, and you rebuild, you can. It's better than this shit. Absolutely, in my opinion. I've lived long enough to understand that. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below and what you think about this. Let this guy know in the comment section if he happens to read it, because I think he needs a very good kick in the pants here to see reality. Nobody should be treated this way, but guys need a good kick in the pants on occasion to, or in my case, a good smack to smack the stupid out of them. And guys, also, if you come across a good story like to share, by all means, email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just give me some time to get to it, and I will. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.